Hey, what's going on, guys? Coming at you with an early morning deck profile, and today I'll be showing you guys my Gem Knight FTK deck post the May 2018 ban list. Yes, you heard that right. Gem Knight FTK. How the heck does this deck FTK with only one Master Diamond? Well, that's something we're going to get into with the deck profile. This deck certainly is not completely dead by any means. It's still very alive and well. The deck is still a lot of fun. It's still very resistant. It's still a lot more versatile than people will give it credit for. But as far as the FTK is concerned, you do have to jump through a few more hoops to get the FTK off with only one Master Diamond. But I think I figured out a couple different ways you can do that. One way that I had very much considered, but is not in this deck profile, is the Black Garden engine with Black Garden and Terraforming. So basically with Black Garden, with all the special summons you do in Gem Knights with your combos, you of course are going to be summoning 5 tokens to your opponent's side of the board as long as Black Garden stays on board. And then all you need on your side of the field is at least 3 monsters to then be able to burn for 4,000 with your initial Lady Lapis Lazuli effect, and then another at least 4,000 with the Master Diamond copied effect, to where you only need the burn effect 2 times. That's all well and good, but it does take up a lot of space in your deck, and it doesn't really do a whole lot outside of the FTK, and is very vulnerable to any kind of disruption and Ghost Ogre as well. So without any further ado, we'll go ahead and get started with the deck profile, talk about some of the changes, and we'll also be doing a combo video or two here soon as well, just to kind of show off how the deck actually FTKs now with the new ban list. So starting off with the Gem Knight monsters, this part hasn't really changed much. We of course have the free Gem Knight Lazuli, the free Gem Knight Obsidian, the free Gem Knight Lapis, and then the free Gem Knight Tourmaline. I wouldn't really change this ratio at all, because it just works out for me. Having the 6 vanillas and then the 6 cards that bring back the vanillas has just worked out very well for me. And especially now with the new combos you have to do with the new ban list, you do need as many Gem Knights in your hand as possible a lot of times to be able to pull off your FTKs. So yeah, you definitely need the names for sure. We're still at 2 Gem Armadillo, really not any room for 3, and the card's kind of lackluster at times compared to like Rescue Rabbit. It's a nice normal summon to of course get you any Gem Knight, usually Obsidian, but the fact that it's not a Gem Knight itself is really the biggest reason why it's only at 2. Speaking of 2, we do still have the 2 Crystal Rose. Since I do still play Pod Desires, I don't want to have just one and then end up banishing off Desires. That's why we're playing the 2, and the card is still pretty pivotal in your FTK combos. So you definitely need it at 2 in my opinion. The free Block Dragon, still the most key card in your FTK combos, and when you don't have quite enough of your FTK combos, you can still make a pretty decent board with this card. I've ended boards with like Decode Talker, Block Dragon, and then a couple pretty big fusion rock monsters on board, and against a lot of decks it's actually pretty decent, especially when they're down to like 2,000 life points. So that alone can actually sometimes win you the games. So Block Dragon's definitely MVP for that reason, as well as the FTKs. Then for the final monster, of course, the free Rescue Rabbit to tutor out your vanillas and get you into your link for free. Really no room for hand traps in the main or side, unfortunately. The deck is really tight on space now with some of the things I've had to adjust with the build. So for spells, free Gem Knight Fusion, free Brilliant Fusion. That'll never change unless either of these get hit. They're just both really, really good, and you need to see them as much as you can. So for the card that I've included into the deck to make the FTK work, we have the free Magnet Reverse. So for those that don't know what this card does, is the quick play spell. Allows you to target one of your machine or rock type monsters that is banished or is in your graveyard that cannot be normal summon / special summon it. So this allows you to bring back any of your rock Gem Knight Fusion monsters from the grave or that are banished. What you're going to do with this when you're pulling off the FTK combos is you're going to bring back either Master Diamond either from the graveyard or banished, so that you can get its effect off a second time. So essentially with that, you can still pull off your free Lee Lapis Lazuli burn effects to hopefully burn for at least 8k for a game. So having the free Magnet Reverse plus the 1 Monster Reborn and 1 Soul Charge means you have 5 Reborns essentially for the deck to get your Master Diamond off a second time. So the deck is still decently consistent at being able to pull it off. Obviously, it's not as much so with the 1 Master Diamond, but Magnet Reverse I like a lot better than Black Garden because it's a more versatile card. You can do a lot more things with it. For example, being able to bring back a Lee Lapis Lazuli that was banished on your opponent's turn to be able to get that little bit of, or even on your turn, just to get that little last little bit of burn damage off can be really, really good. So yeah, the free Magnet Reverse. The free Pod Desires, you definitely could play 2 if you want to, but I still want to be all in with this deck, so I feel like at 3 it's good because you want to see it. You want to dig through your deck to try to get to those combo pieces, especially now that you need more combo pieces to actually do the FTK. Still the free Unexpected Die. I still think you need 3, even though it can, of course, clog at multiples, because you just need to get the Link monster on board as quickly as possible to be able to do your combos. For 1 of spells, of course, the 1 Foolish Burial, and then the aforementioned 1 Monster Reborn and 1 Soul Charge. So the unfortunate thing with like Monster Reborn and Soul Charge now with the deck, these were before mostly used as like combo extenders or combo recovery cards if you got like Ghost Ogre at any point in the combo. But now these are essential pieces of the combo to actually be able to get your Master Diamond back a second time to be able to pull off your FTK. So it's actually a lot harder now to side these out games 2 and 3, whereas before these would be like the first cards sided out game 2 and 3 because they weren't necessarily essential for the combo. So that is something to keep in mind. So that is the 40 card main deck. For the extra, there's a few changes with this. We do have the 2 Gem Knight Phantom Quartz. Nothing will really change there. You absolutely need 2. The 1 Mrs. Radiant, still very needed when you link jump over to the other link zone. And if you're going second and just want to get a bunch of big beaters on board for an OTK, this is really helpful for giving all your guys a boost. The 1 Decode Talker, you definitely do need this now for some of the more intricate combos with the deck. Being able to get rid of your Phantom Quartz and another monster for this, or being able to get like as you'll see next, like the Curious off the board. To be able to then keep going with your plays is very important. So the Link Spider Curious. This is not a engine that I was playing before the deck, but basically if you're able to get like Rescue Rabbit plus another monster on board, or you're able to just get like trying to think like a couple rock monsters plus like a Tourmaline on board, or 2 Tourmalines on board, you're able to like link away one of your rock monsters and a Link Spider. You have the Thunder monster on board with Tourmaline, and then you have some kind of rock monster, and then there's your 3 monsters with the same attribute but different type for Curious. And what Curious does for the deck is if you don't have Block Dragon already set up, you can send Block Dragon from deck to grave, and then she also mills you another 3 cards, which can be really good. So yeah, she's just essentially another way to get Block Dragon in grave. Yes, you do still have the 7 ways in the main deck, but considering all the changes I've had to make to the main deck, it is a little bit less consistent, I feel, to be able to get that off, since you're more reliant on actually having a Monster Reborn to be able to pull off your combos. So I'm testing out the Curious right now. At my locals yesterday, I definitely screwed it up a good bit because I haven't had to play with Curious combos before. It's a lot better in my opinion in like the 60 card builds that we're playing Left Arm Offering and Grass, like the guy Jesse Flores that got top 16 at YCS a couple weeks ago. But I'm trying it out now. It may or may not stay in the build. Something else I may have to consider if I keep this in is like a Link 4, because there's times where I have this on board and then I just have like any other monster that's not a Link, and I need a way to get this off board, and I don't really have a good way to do that. Unfortunately, there's not really a lot of good Link 4s that you can make with just like a Link 3 and a Link 1, or a Link 3 and a other monster that have at least 2 downward pointers. I mean, there's Topologic, but that's going to blow up all your stuff. So yeah, definitely still a lot of testing I need to do with this deck, and still a lot of kind of deck building theory that I need to do with this deck before it becomes perfect. But I definitely think the Magnet Reverse is a big key to getting there. So next we have the 2 Lee Lapis Lazuli. You still need the 2 because again the the whole point of what you're trying to do now with the FTK combos is trying to summon the Master Diamond a second time so you can copy a second Lady Lapis Lazuli. So you absolutely need it too. And then unfortunately, it's just the one Master Diamond. Again, we are going off a new ban list here, and that's what we were doing at my locals last night because everybody wanted to get some testing in. It's kind of funny now that both in Yu-Gi-Oh! And Steven Universe, there is only one Master Diamond. Although we haven't really seen or heard much from White Diamond and Steven Universe, but that's neither here nor there. For other Gem Knight fusions, we have the one Lady Brilliant Diamond, still very essential for the combo. Usually summon this off of, you sometimes summon off of Brilliant Fusion if you already had a Block Dragon, or you can summon it off of the Link to basically, sacrifice it to get the Master Diamond on board, to then have a fusion in the graveyard to banish for Crystal Rose. So that's actually pretty important. The one Prismara, for when you're in those tight spots, you need to pop face-up cards, and you have your Tourmaline to be able to make it. The one Seraph Knight actually comes up a lot more now because, again, you have to jump through some more hoops with your different combos to be able to get your FTKs, and sometimes you need to bridge, like into a Zirconia or a Seraph Knight to get certain things engraved. And also, if you open like both Armadillo and Rescue Rabbit, this could be really good for your extra normal. The one Topaz, again, if you're going for an OTK and you happen to have the Tourmaline, this can be really helpful. You can even send this off your Lady Lapis Lazuli to then have engraved to banish the copy with Master Diamond to get you that extra damage you need. The one Zirconia, I feel like I need to make room for a second one in this deck. I'm not sure what I'm going to do though, unless I end up cutting the Curious Engine. Again, as I said, you a lot of times with your combos end up needing to make some kind of easy bridge Gem Knight fusion monster to be able to get certain things you need engraved. And Zirconia is like the easiest card to do that. And having only the one can be a bit troublesome at times. Like you have to be very careful with your one, making sure that if you need it again, that you banish it off of your like Block Dragon or Gem Knight fusion to then recycle back off of your links. So definitely something to keep in mind there. And then since we can't play True King of All Calamities anymore, we are playing the one number 41 Baguska. Basically is another way to stall out the game for a couple turns if you don't have anything else going for you. If you have a Rescue Rabbit, if you have like a Gem Armadillo plus an unexpected die, or a Tourmaline plus an unexpected die, you can make this and hopefully just sit for a couple turns. So that's the whole reason he's in here. I wouldn't cut it because, again, there's a lot of times where you just can't do a whole lot because you open up a bad hand and you want to be able to make something that can stall you out a couple turns. So that's pretty extra. The sides, of course, definitely a work in progress. I haven't really looked much into what's going to be good this next format because I've been very busy with my new job. So a lot of this is just kind of the same as what it has been. So we do have the free Kaijus and the one Slumber. Definitely something I'm considering cutting because when you look at True Dracos, they don't have Masterpiece. There's not really much reason to Kaiju anything on their boards. Pendulum Magicians, I don't think they're going to be as consistent at making their big boards without Astrograph. Really the only things you would need a Kaiju for nowadays would be for like Spiral Nightmares or Goki Nightmares. So I mean you could play a couple, but I'm definitely seeing like against True Dracos and against Altergeist decks that like just play a lot of back row. You definitely need the evenly match, which I currently do not own, so that may be something I look into in the future. Free Call by the Grave, still here to protect you from hand traps. Really no room to main it, and I'm not sure like how relevant like a bunch of hand traps are going to be in the main going into this coming format, especially with the existence of Infinite Impermanence, which this of course does nothing to. So yeah, again, a lot of stuff to think about for this new format. Triple Twin Twister, just here for those back row heavy decks, of course. The one Dark Hole and one Regeki. Again, kind of not sure how relevant board whites are going to be going second in this new format, especially, again, mentioning Goki Nightmares, Spiral Nightmares, World Chalice Nightmares. Like any link deck now, they're able to just link into Nightmare cards, and those kind of protect themselves from destruction. So, yeah, these may not be as good, and these may potentially be cards that are cut for evenly matched if and when I do get my hands on them. Which with my new job and the money I'm getting, yeah, we might be able to get our hands on them. Although it is a job where I'm working first shift on weekends, so not really any regionals I can go to anytime soon until I can actually get established there and start like requesting off comfortably. But that's neither here nor there. Final side card, 3 red reboots. I wouldn't say this is a fantastic card that needs to be sided in every single deck. I would say this is a great card that needs to be sided in a deck like this that just absolutely loses to, like, set 5 decks, any kind of like Floodgate or Infinite Impervience. If you need something to negate it, and also just negate any other traps for the turn. And the goal after you red reboot is to win the game that turn, or to make a big enough established board to where whatever trap they're setting off the red reboot does not matter. So you do have to be very careful when you play red reboot, because if you can't do a whole lot after the red reboot, then you just kind of giving them the game. So yeah, red reboot, really like it in this kind of deck. Not sure I like it in, like, a lot of other decks, like say Trickstars, for example, that don't have that consistency to like kill the opponent after using this. So that is it for my updated deck profile for Gem Knights post the May 2018 ban list. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And as I said, I should be coming out with a combo video or two just to show you guys how the deck actually can FTK now with only the 1 Master Diamond. So again, remember guys to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.